Hello and welcome to the show. This week's FailRace versus the community was C-Class Toyotas, and our first race was at the Road Atlanta Short Circuit. I had started towards the front of the field, but my Supra was not the quickest off the line, and as we came into the first corner, I got stuck around the outside. Yeah, I was quite lucky. The MRS was just far enough in front of me not to collect me as he went off the track. I proceeded to go around the outside of a Yaris at the top of the hill. It's pretty scary fitting two cars through there, but we both managed to get away with it on the run down the hill. Everybody else was all being very well behaved. There hadn't been too much bumping and barging going on. I got myself to the inside and we ran around a very long... It's a bit of a strange corner, this one. In some cars you can be flat out but actually need to change down a gear because the way the corner is sort of... It's a long, never-ending corner and you go uphill. So, yeah, a little bit of an odd one on this track. As we come into the chicane, the Yaris had a look up the inside. I had no clue the Yaris was there. And a little bit of a bump between the pair of us. The Yaris ended up coming up a little bit worse than my Supra. Further around, and things were still pretty busy in the mid-pack in the early stages of this race. As Celica was leading this little group of cars. The Celica, the older Celica, had a broken engine and was struggling with the straight line speed. They nearly ended up going 3 wide into the final chicane. Not such a good idea, but everybody fits through there just about okay-ish. Yeah, this could be a little bit harder track to overtake on in some places. This final corner here, they tried to fit 3 cars around, which is rare. They managed to get away with it though, and there was plenty of overtaking going on here. Your best overtaking spots are probably the chicane, but everybody wanted to do the spectacular, it seems, around the outside of the final corner. This time it was a Supra that managed to make the move around the outside of the Prius. Yeah, but it's just one of those things. We've had it a few times here where the easy overtaking spot is generally, I wouldn't say ignored, but all the overtakes were happening elsewhere. I had caught up to the leader over the course of a couple of laps and very nearly gave him a push all the way down the back straight. I had a pretty good handling Supra, not the most powerful. I had no engine upgrades at all in my car. It was just weight reduction and handling stuff. So my car was pretty grippy through the corners, but wasn't the quickest in a straight line. Had decent acceleration because of the light weight, and as the Supra in front ran a little bit wide, I saw my opportunity, dived up the inside. Tiny bit of lag. That's scary to see, especially coming into that final corner, but I managed to get the pass done and take the lead at this stage of the race. The second place battle carried on between 2 more Supras. It turned out that these were by far the most popular car in this opening race. I thought I'd been different by picking these, but no, it seemed that everybody wanted to use these cars. Again, similar scenario to last lap as they head down the back straight with 2 almost identical coloured cars. Yeah, this is a hard one to commentate on, where when they've got that, they come into the final chicane and the car in third just couldn't quite find a way past, gets a better drive out of the corner, but the car in front sort of stays in the middle of the road, covers the inside. There's nowhere really for third place to go. Tries to get to the inside as they run down the start-finish line. You can overtake into this first corner, but again, it's not really the best of overtaking spots. It's a fairly fast corner, this one, not a very big braking zone. And the second place car holds it around the outside. That's pretty tough to do. Well done for keeping your car around the outside there as they come over the top of the hill. Yeah, there's just no real space down this part of the course. If you're ahead by the first corner, the next section is very, very hard to overtake on. It's very, very fast. And with second and third scrapping so much, I could pull out a fairly sizable lead in this race and take the victory. And it was to be a 1-2-3 for the 94 Supras. In quite what order though, that was to be fought over until the very final lap. Again, heading in towards the final chicane, there's a little bit of lag going on, which is a bit of a shame. It wasn't as bad as we have seen in some of them, but yeah, there was just a little bit going on. The car in second, again, doesn't really get a very good drive off the exit of the chicane. However, lag maybe plays a little bit of a part as they go side by side. A little bit of a bumping duel as they get across the line. Very close finish between them two. It's a shame that it picked that moment to be a little bit laggy, But yeah, they got away without any major incidents. It wasn't to be the only close finish of the race. To be fair, the most exciting action went on the last lap of this one. For a lot of the middle of the race, things were fairly spread out. This Yaris had worked his way back up to the Toyota Prius and finds a very small gap. Well done for finding some space there. That's I've not seen a car quite make that kind of an overtake before on that corner to get the position. Yeah, that's an interesting one, and even that wasn't the closest finish of them all. Again, a little bit of lag going on this final lap. This is for something like 11th place, I think, as they come into the final corner. Yaris on the inside, the MR2 tries to go all the way around the outside, and even some rallycross going on there. Couldn't quite beat the Yaris for the position. We move on to our second race at the Tsukuba circuit. Again, the game had been fairly kind to me and given me a relatively high up position on the grid. If you run into the first corner, we've seen some chaos here before, but this time round everybody was very well behaved. They were 2 or 3 wide at some point, but on the most part I don't think there was any bumping going on at all. I think one car may have ended up a little bit wide, but yeah, everybody got through this first section. There's a little bit of bump into the hairpin, but everything was all relatively calm, which is nice to see, and there weren't cars going flying and causing huge lag spikes, which is also very nice to see. As we ran up towards the hairpin, or the second hairpin for the first time, there was a bit of a train going on at the front. There is an AE86 going for the inside. I then proceed to follow him through on the exit of the corner, and then we have this drag race down the back straight. Tsukuba normally favours the more handling orientated cars, but if you do have some straight line speed, it can be useful down this back straight, and I managed to get my Supra up the inside of one MR2 and out drag him, and I proceeded to get myself up the inside of the 86 as well as we come towards the first corner. I've got a pretty good handling car on this one, and being on the inside I can brake, get my car turned, and the other car cannot go around the outside, and then the MRS tries to follow through. It was a fairly busy opening lap. Further back there was an Igo that was proceeding to make progress through the field. Igo's pretty damn quick cars. You wouldn't expect it necessarily. Of all the Toyotas you could choose, you wouldn't necessarily expect the Igo to be one of the fastest, but this Igo was making good progress through the field. I think in B class the Igos are very fast. I seem to remember doing random lobby racing and had Igos destroying stuff there. They were very, very fast. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's B class, but yeah, they can be surprisingly quick. A lap or two later, and I had worked my way onto the back of the leader as we come up towards the first corner. The MR2 goes very defensive, but it doesn't really matter. I have so much grip, I can just drive around the outside at turn 1. I haven't done that before, I don't think, and I just had so much more grip than the MR2 that I could get away with doing that. The MR2 tries to come back at me through the next corner, but couldn't really do very much about it. Further back, and they tried to fit 3 cars through a piece of track that shouldn't have 3 cars fitting on it. With a little bit of help from some grass, they all managed to get away with it, just about. I've not seen people try and fit 3 cars in that bit of road before. It's not a clever idea, really. The Supra tries to stay on the inside. Good overtake from the MRS there to go around the outside of that corner. And then we come up towards the hairpin. There were still some pretty big groups of vehicles going on. The Igo had taken a spin at some point and had dropped back behind these lot, but was very, very quick. So it was now right back on the tail of this group, and the Igo gets a phenomenal drive out of the hairpin, gets past the 2000 GT, and it's now having a look at the back of the Supra as they run in towards the final corner. In front of them, the MRS and Alteza, I think that's how it's pronounced, I'm not sure, we're having a little bit of a battle. The MRS being almost caught out by the other one. MRS can get to the inside. The Igo is looking to get into the inside of the Supra. Supra's just quick enough on the acceleration front to just about stay out of range. He keeps it around the outside of the first corner. They proceed to go side by side down this next section. The Igo just gets in front. I thought the Igo was going to have to go around the outside, but he just braked late enough to get in front of the Supra as they go around the hairpin. This is further back. I believe this is over 11th or 12th position, something like that, and there was still a group of vehicles fighting for pretty much every position. That's what I like to see with some of these races. It especially seems to happen with the lower the class, the closer the racing you get, as a Celica goes to prove itself in the rallying front, in the background. Yeah, when you have lower class racing, you tend to get sort of races absolutely everywhere. Occasionally you might have the odd broken car here and there, but you do tend to find racing throughout the field. As I said, this is for one of the much lower positions as they round the hairpin. The A86 gets a little bit sideways. Can't really do very much at the moment in this one, but it's always good to see that there's plenty of action going on throughout the field. It's not just at the front or just in the middle. Yeah, I always like to see that. The Igo continued to prove much excitement in this race as he was still trying to find a way back past the Supra. Again, I'm not entirely sure what happened to the Igo to fall back down here, but yeah, he got stuck behind the Supra again, coming around the first corner. It's a similar story to last time. The Supra does get a little bit out of shape. I don't know what's going on with the replay here. The things like the smoke's all gone all strange. I have no clue. It's a little bit odd. Replay, things go weird on this one, or for this evening, I should say. At the front, I had done a stupid thing with a lap to go. I'd knocked the analog stick that I used to control my gears, and had my sort of busted my engine up by putting the car down a gear. So I had to kind of limp around the last lap with a fairly poorly engine. Fortunately for me, I'd had a big enough lead that it hadn't really mattered. The AE86, there we go, I can speak, that was in second did close up in another lap. It might not have been such a nice ending for me. As I said, the Igo was continuing to battle his way through the field and came up to the Altezza. Tried to do the rallycross overtake around the outside and just ran out of road. And in doing so, slowed himself down, and the Supra came back at him as they come into the final corner. You think the Supra has got the position here. The Igo has so much grip, he can sort his car out and then go all the way around the outside of the Supra around the final corner to get the position back. And for me, that gets overtake of the evening. Have the presence of mind to do that on the final corner. Great overtake from the Igo. Unfortunately, that is all the footage that I have from this event. As you saw on the Tsukuba race, replays went funny. And on the third race, the replay just gave up on me. Every time I load the replay up, I get about 2 seconds and it just crashes my entire Xbox. And as I'm running fairly late, it's been manic trying to do 2 videos a day recently. I just haven't had the time to sort out. I didn't realise until today that the replays were buggered. So yeah, sorry about that one. What I can tell you from it is that I took the victory, so it was a triple for the Toyota Supra. My car was very, very good over the course of this event. There was also a monumental lag spike on the first lap into the first corner. At least that's what I kind of saw behind me going on. There was a lot of broken cars in that one. I'm not entirely sure, but that may well have played a part into why the replays got corrupted in such a way and broken everything. So yeah, I can't really do very much about that one. However, the next FailRace versus the community shall be on Thursday the 10th of July. We shall be running B-Class hatchbacks. Now, this is what the game counts as a hatchback. If you go in the multiplayer settings, you can find an option. It'll be body type, and I'll be setting that to hatchback. So bear that in mind. Make sure you check to make sure whatever car you are driving, the game actually classifies as a hatchback. There are a few funny ones. Don't ask me why. It's just how the game categorizes them. That is what we shall be running. The races shall be run at 7 PM British summertime as well. If you wish to sign up and take part, then you can on our forums. There will be a link in the description. Go there, find the FailRace versus the community section, and that is how you sign up. However, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.